And on to another episode of Gone for the Win. And yeah, it's only been a few days since the last one, just because I've got a lot happening this week, and I want to try and get this out the way before we end up forgetting about it for the Congo team. But we can start off talking about the minute as I forget to turn my phone off.
Joe Hendry, where's Joe Hendry? I don't see Joe Hendry.
But yeah, so we're going to be talking about the critics' choice winners. We're going to talk about the Annie Award nominations that came out. We're going to do the Golden Globe predictions. But Dan, we've also got Dan is here as he is. How's it going, Dan?
Pretty good. I got a Gone with the Win interview coming this week. I'm going to surprise everybody. I'm going to give Malcolm the link after I'm done the interview, and we're going to have a interview with some potential Academy Award nominees. So it's going to be a special. Malcolm have not heard that. This is Malcolm's being surprised with this news just as much as everybody. I will not say who or what movie this involves until it happens, because I don't want to jinx. I have a interview coming this week with some potential Academy Award nominees.
Well, that's going to be something to look forward to coming up, which I totally had no idea about until just now. But moving into to the Critics' Choice Award nominations, a lot. And honestly, it's one of those ones, like, there wasn't a lot of unexpected stuff happen. Like, there was a couple of unexpected ones that potentially could change for this race up. But it's like, starting from the bottom here, the winner of Best Foreign Language Movie was The Secret Agent. But Dan, what are your thoughts about The Secret Agent winning Best Foreign Language Movie?
Yeah, I mean, it just shows you that we shouldn't overlook Brazil again. This is 2 years in a row that Brazil has won this award, and me and you both had it was just an accident thinking they were going to go with Jafar Panahi and what his narrative was, and we should have realized. Wait a minute, what won last year? Who had the push to get Best International Film? And that was the Brazilians. So it makes sense that the Brazilians would win again. They overwhelm it with it was just an accident. I don't think this is going to translate to the Academy Award, but you never know.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like, I had no idea of this race at all. I just picked foreign language movies I think that I've heard a lot about. It's like, well, it just sounds a good chance with it. But this is one of those ones where the Secret Agent has been one of these ones that's like, it's could, like, they are saying it could be a big Oscar favorite, especially with Wagner Moore and
yeah, that could come along with it. You're right.
So it's one of those ones, like, I'm not overly surprised. Like, the way I see it, like, there's only like three big options for potentially winning here, and there was no other choice. It was just Next and Secret Agent. Because I think those are the big three that are going to get a lot of Oscar nominations. Suwata's probably going to get a few, but I don't think not as much as the other three. But yeah, like, Secret Agent was always kind of going to be this one of these big, strong foreign movies anyway, so I'm not surprised that it won here. Moving on to Best Comedy, it went to The Naked Gun, which I personally think is deserved. Like, it's a really great comedy. I loved it a lot. And yeah, and out of the race that was there, is like, I don't think anything else can really compare to it. But Dan, what are your thoughts about Naked Gun winning Best Comedy?
No, my criteria of best comedy is this: it made me laugh my ass off 100 times. That deserves to win, and that's why the Naked Gun won, because it made me laugh. And the trailer that came out at the Super Bowl, the teaser trailer, made me interested, and I didn't watch anything on it after that teaser trailer. I was like all in after the teaser. And then when I saw the movie, I was just like, wow, I cannot believe how many jokes and how many gags are in this movie that weren't in that teaser trailer.
Yeah. But moving on to Best Animated Feature, we had K-pop Demon Hunters win, which the way this is going, it's definitely looking like it's going to be the one that's going to end up winning at the Oscars. And as well, also one of those ones, I know critics really loved it as well, so I'm not overly surprised about it. And we'll get into it when we get to predictions, but I think if it wins at the Golden Globes, I would argue that is probably a lock to win at the Oscars. But if Zootopia 2 ends up winning the Golden Globes, then we've got an interesting race going on for the when it gets to the Oscars. But then what are your thoughts about K-pop winning animated feature here?
Yeah, and I want to correct myself. Secret Agent won with the critics, not with the Golden Globes. So that's not a Brazilian contingent of the Golden Globes. So I made a mistake there on that. I thought about it as I was saying. I was like, why am I saying that? So I do correct myself on. Yeah, I had Zootopia. I think it's a 50-50, so I went with Zootopia because that was the one I liked more. But you're right. It could easily go. If Golden Globes goes with K-pop, this race is over. You can forget it. And it also won songs. So, I mean, that's got something going for it that, like, Zootopia does it. Their song didn't even get nominated in the short lists, right?
Yeah.
So, there you go. So, that helps K-pop extra. Go ahead.
Yeah. But moving on to Best Stunt Design, it went to Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. I mean, that's kind of obvious choice there, but Dan, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Tom could end up with 2 Oscars this year. One for an honorary Oscar that he got a couple months ago, and then he could end up with Stunt Ensemble's not this year. Shoot. Its casting is this year. Stunts ain't till the 100th Academy Award. Can you believe that, Malcolm? They waited to the 100th Academy Awards to do stunts, so Tom might not be able to win for that because unless he has a movie that qualifies for it in the 100th. But yeah, he probably will win a SAG though. So there's that.
Well, I will correct you a little bit. The category is Best Stunt Design. Tom Cruise wasn't involved in designing the stunts. He just did, like, it was Wade Eastwood that yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, and when the Oscars bring in stunts, then it'll probably be that same kind of criteria where the person that designed the stunts will be the one that is the official winner, not these people executing the stunts, if that makes sense.
No, it makes complete sense. I got that confused. I'm all over the place on this episode.
Yeah, it's all good. I've had that before too. But next up we got visual effects, and that went to Avatar: Fire and Ash, as we predicted last time. Like, as well, those ones, like, I wouldn't have been surprised if it went a different way, but yeah, like Avatar: Fire and Ash, like, I haven't seen it yet. I will get around to it eventually. But from what I've seen in the trailer, the visual effects is spectacular, and I'm not surprised.
Yeah, that's an obvious. This is a no-brainer. I mean, if there was a no-brainer of all no-brainers in the Critics' Choice, Malcolm, it was that Avatar: Fire and Ash was going to win that award.
Yeah. Moving on to Best Sound, and that went to F1, which could be a stronger contender at the Oscars than we might think. But it's one of those ones any of the whatever movie wins Best Sound, it's one of those ones that I would have been happy with any of them, but F1 is one of these ones that's sort of picking up steam right where it needs to now, and winning at the Critics' Choice is just going to help it. And yeah, and it's one of those ones. The sound is great, like it's a racing thing. Like how can you mess up the sound in that? But it's also one of those ones that is going to be interesting to see if this translates to Oscars as well. But Dan, what are your thoughts about F1 winning Best Sound?
Yeah, I think it won 2 awards, if I'm not mistaken. It won sound and something else.
We'll get to that when we get to it.
Yeah, I know. But what else? You feel like you're in a race. You're watching a race when you're watching that movie. You literally feel like you're at an F1 race, or I've been at a lot of NASCAR races, and it's loud, and you felt the sound in there. You know what I mean? But I think it would it win cinema? No, it didn't win cinematography. I guess we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah. But moving on to best hair and makeup, and that went to Frankenstein, which is much deserved. And once again, I would have been happy with, if whatever one they went with for this. But I think Frankenstein is deserved, and we'll get to it once again. We'll get to the other category. We'll get when we get to it, but it looks like Dan's theory might be coming true again this year. So, but Dan, what are your thoughts about Frankenstein winning best hair and makeup?
Yeah, I mean, when you don't have certain nominees, it's obvious that whatever's left of the potential winners is going to win, and that's what happened here. Frankenstein was left of the ones that potentially could win best hair and makeup in the future at the Academy Awards because it wasn't nominated here. So Frankenstein won, and it's most deserved. I mean, of the ones that were there, it was the most deserving for me. So it makes sense.
Yeah. We already touched on this when we talked about animated film, but best song went to Golden for K-pop Demon Hunters. And once again, it's kind of the obvious choice. And honestly, I think the only one that could potentially maybe upset it at the Oscars is the Sinners song, which is also getting a lot of wins around as well. But I mean, K-pop, like Golden was everywhere. Like people were singing that song in the streets, and there was a reason it was getting into a lot of people's Spotify raps at the end of the year as well. Like people were just listening to it on repeat.
Yeah, but I'm not a fan of the movie, but it's undeniable that song's incredible.
Yeah. Best score went to Sinners with Ludwig Göransson, which it's definitely looking like he's getting another Oscar.
Are you kidding me with this guy? I wonder what the thing is, how the youngest person to win 3 Oscars is. It'd be an interesting thing to look up, because this guy is going to have 3. If it looks like, if he's got the score, if they give him score, he's awful young, or he looks young to me.
Yeah. But I mean, it's one of those ones like it'll be in like. It's one of those ones, though, depending on what happens at the Golden Globes. And Ludwig Göransson is actually 41 years old. He's actually
no way 41 years old. Wow, that guy looks young.
Yeah.
So there goes that.
But yeah, it's because it's worth knowing this is just the critics, so we'll find out next week on how the industry maybe go when it comes to score. But like Sinners is getting a lot of wins for score around the board, so I'm not going to be too surprised either. But yeah. Moving on to production design, which also went to Frankenstein. And actually, I'll do a twofer because costume design also went to Frankenstein. Go New Zealand costume designers. But
that's your one. You were rooting for them.
Yeah. And it's definitely looking like my theory that I kind of said earlier in an early episode, like Wicked for Good. It's one of those ones that unfortunately it's looking like it's because it won a lot of these awards last year, it is probably not going to win these same awards again this year. So it'll be interesting to see if it comes out of any Oscars at the end of the time, but it's not looking good for Wicked for Good, that's for sure. But Dan, what are your thoughts about Frankenstein winning costume and production design?
Yeah, I mean, when we were doing our predictions, we both were raving about the production design. The sets of Frankenstein are incredible, and then obviously the costumes. I was talking about the dresses for specifically Mia Goth, You know, I mean, they were just so gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, and the clothes on the other characters are incredible. I mean, so I mean, it makes sense that it won the three. It won the three Oscar. I say Oscars, but Critics' Choice said it won because we knew it was going to be a major below the line player.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Best editing went to F1. This was the other one that it went to, which I'm not overly surprised about because the editing is really good. I was still kind of hoping there was going to be one better after another, but it's definitely going to be interesting to see sort of if that keeps F1's momentum to get into the Oscars for editing. But yeah, Dan, what are your thoughts about F1 winning best editing?
Well, when you're trying to record a bunch of races, you know you're going to be cutting back and doing this and doing that. So you know you're going to have a lot of editing. And this might not be, it looks like it's looking like sound might not be a one-off for F1. It could be a contender in editing. So that would be, if it gets into editing, then that wouldn't be a one-off either. So it could get a couple, you never know. It could get into song. F1 could be a bigger player than we thought going in.
Yeah. But it's also one of those ones that it kind of looks good. Like we'll find out when we get the PGA nominations this week. But maybe we could get F1 into best picture. I know a lot of people was kind of iffy about it getting in there, but if it's picking up some of these like big ones like editing, then there's its chances of it's getting a little bit better to maybe slide into best picture and knocking something out.
No, you're right. If you get sound, editing, and song, that's a package to get into best picture. You know what I mean? You don't know.
Yeah.
Or even cinematography. You don't know. Sound, editing, song, and cinematography, you gotta be a definitely contender for best picture then, right?
Yeah. But moving on to cinematography, the winner of best cinematography was Train Dreams, which is a movie I'm not that high on as other people are. I know some people had it in their like best of the years and stuff, but I liked it. It's fine, but I do think the cinematography is a beautiful movie. I think the cinematography is great in it. But yeah, but it's definitely Train Dreams picked up that much needed win to sort kind of keep it in the conversation for something at the Oscars anyway. But Dan, what are your thoughts about Train Dreams getting best cinematography?
Yeah, I mean, it's breathtaking. It's a breathtaking movie. You literally feel like you're out in the woods with that character, Joel Edgerton.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you're watching that movie, and if you don't, you shouldn't be watching movies. But no, it's all movies are subjective. I loved it. You weren't as big a fan of it, but yeah, that's a big win for Train Dreams for cinematography. Absolutely, I agree with what you said about it. It needs to start picking up some awards.
But moving on to adapted screenplay, went to one battle after another, which we all kind of easily predicted. Honestly,
they did it off screen. They did it with that. Here's a bunch of the other contender. Da 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 da. Then they put the camera to Paul Thomas Anderson. Oh, I won. You hear him go, "Oh, I won." Go ahead.
I didn't realize that. I didn't. There was no way for me to watch the Critics' Choice Awards because it wasn't airing anywhere in New Zealand for me. But an original screenplay went to Sinners, which once again is we kind of predicted. I would have loved to see the Critics' Choice do something cool and maybe doing like weapons win, but it is like it is what it is in the end. Because I think it's once again like it's probably going to be Sinners in one battle, both with the screenplay awards at the Oscars anyway. But moving on to best casting and ensemble, and also young actor and actress both went to Sinners. Miles Caton got young actor for Sinners, and then the casting went to Sinners, which I did think it was a little bit interesting because I could have sworn we would have got it would have been like Monday after another with that set cast, but
Yep.
but
I think it
cynicism is
was
a
the
bad choice.
director, Malcolm. Sorry to interrupt you. I think if you are familiar with that casting director, she's a long time casting director in Hollywood, and I think that was the reason why they gave it to her. If I could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not too upset because like, Sinners is still a great cast in itself.
Oh yeah,
So like,
it's not chopped liver or nothing like that. There are a lot of great actors in that movie.
yeah. But then supporting actress went to Amy Madigan for Weapons, and it's looking like that's going to she's going to be sweeping him up left, right, and center. So Dan, what do you thought about Amy Madigan getting Best Supporting Actress?
Yeah, there's trends. If you look at trends and stuff, the Academy likes to give Best Supporting Actress or actor to an older, grizzled actor that's been around a while that you kind of just missed these awards over the years. Christopher Plummer and whatnot as an example. Robert Downey Jr., people like that. And Amy Madigan fits into that category so well with the performance. She just gave the best performance she possibly could at the right time. And it just makes sense. If she wins this, I think it's just gonna be a steamroll going forward for her. It's looking like she's got this in the bag.
Yeah. But moving on to Best Supporting Actor, which I would never have seen this coming my way because with who was here, but Jacob Elordi got Best Supporting for Frankenstein, which I do think he was great as the creature, which just goes to show that if both Benicio and Sean Penn get into this category at the Oscars, they probably that's what I'm thinking happened. With they split the vote so much that led to Jacob sneaking in. And I know a lot of people thought that, but it's also one of those ones that maybe like Amy Madigan will be the career Oscar, so to speak, this time around, because I know a lot of people predicting it for Stellan Skarsgård, but it's one of those ones like whether or not that happens, and it's going to be Jacob Elordi at the Oscars, which
wow.
The fact that both at least two of the acting categories goes to an actor who was in a horror movie last year. It's really good for the horror genre as well. But Dan, what are your thoughts about Jacob Elordi getting Best Supporting Actor?
Yeah, I believe I would say, there's some ones you could say, okay, didn't see that coming, whatever, but there was a potential for that to happen. This was the one you say, we both picked somebody different. You picked Benicio, I picked Stellan, and either one of us picked Sean Penn. And then Jacob Elordi comes out, and even Jacob Elordi was surprised when he won. He was like, he didn't know what to say because he had no idea he was going to win that award. But I think that could be the case. The one battle guys are splitting votes, and then there's just not enough votes to go around. Maybe that's why Stellan's not gonna. Maybe Stellan might not win. I mean, you don't know. But critics, I will tell you this, critics can do some wonky things once in a while. So don't just chalk this up to, this could be just a critic's choice doing a critic's choice thing.
Oh yeah. I wasn't because I mean I think it's one of those ones that's going to be more telling once we get to the Globe and we see what the industry starts to say about this. Because if Jacob Elordi wins again with the industry, then yeah, it's going to be interesting to get the Oscars. Wow. That's for sure.
I mean, and the thing too is you watch that movie, you think, okay, you watch the first half of that movie, and you think, oh, it's Oscar Isaac, but then it's like it's two movies in one. You get to see the movie from the perspective of the monster in the second movie. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so in the second part, but it's technically two movies in one. And he really does a great job in the second half of that movie. He really does. I mean, you can't deny what he's doing in that movie in the second half, right, Malcolm?
Oh, yeah. No, not at all. And it's one of those ones like because when we're talking about the Golden Globe nominations, with Wolf when Wolf was here, it's like I know Wolf was being really critical about them. It's like this is the critics trying to predict the Oscars and then they go and do something like this, which is like, yeah, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, there's nothing. We don't have anything against him because he's definitely deserving of it. There's no doubt about it. He wouldn't have been in the category if he wasn't deserving about it.
Yeah. I wasn't trying to say that, but it was like
no, I know you weren't. I'm just saying we understand why he was there and why he won because he was deserving of it. I mean, he gives a phenomenal performance, and you got to think, right, Malcolm? He's walking around with makeup on and layers of stuff all over him, and he's going to give a great performance, and that's hard to do, don't you think?
Oh yeah. That's definitely true. But moving on to Best Actress, and that went to Jessie Buckley for Hamnet, and which was at this point is pretty much predicted. She's probably going to sweep it all the way to the Oscar as well. But Dan, what are your thoughts about Jessie Buckley winning Best Actress?
And you know what's the weird thing? Here's a connection, Malcolm. Jessie Buckley could end up pulling off the Oscar, and guess what? Her movie, The Bride, will be coming out around that time, and that's a connection to Frankenstein. And so it's full circle. It'll go full circle. Around literally that week, I believe, is when The Bride is coming out, the week of or the week before the Oscars. So it's crazy that she could be in the limelight again. Jessie Buckley could be playing a crazy. I saw that trailer, and that is crazy.
Yeah. But moving on to Best Actor, and then went to Timothée Chalamet. But yeah, which it's definitely one that I kind of thought was probably going to happen. Happen. I know everyone's been predicting Chalamet and that, but whether or not this sort of happens for that when it comes to the Oscars, I'm not 100% sold on it because I know like Leo, it's probably between Leo and Chalamet, and that, but Timothy, he was definitely. I haven't seen Marty Supreme. It doesn't come out for about. I think it's a few weeks. I think it comes out 22nd of January for me. But I'm definitely interested in checking it out when it does eventually release here. But Dan, what are your thoughts about Timothée Chalamet winning for Best Actor?
You know, he wasn't there at the beginning of the awards. I don't know what happened, if he had transportation issues or whatever. But what's her face? Chelsea Handler was like updating. Don't worry, Timothy's on his way. He'll be like, okay, we know Timothy's coming because he's probably gonna win. And so it was kind of weird. And then he thanks his girlfriend of 3 years. You know, like he doesn't thank anybody else. All he does is thank his girlfriend of 3 years on his in his acceptance speech or whatever, which is one of the Kardashians, I believe, Khloe Kardashian or whatever her name is. I don't know. I forget which one of the Kardashians he's dating, but yeah, he I'll tell you what, his acceptance speeches are weird. I'll tell you that. But no, I am so happy that Timothy won. This kid's overdue. I know he's a young guy. I think he just turned 30 or he's 29 or something like that. Whatever. He's close to 30. And he's overdue. But he's been given great performances, and he's in Dune Messiah next year. I mean, look, I would have loved to have seen him win for one of the Dune movies, to be honest with you. But this movie is undeniable. The performance he gives in this movie is incredible. I mean, incredible. And people say that a lot. You know, we use the word incredible, Malcolm, throw it around like it's, but he is incredible in this movie. And when you see it, you'll you'll completely agree with me. You'll be, wow, is he amazing in this movie? You know?
Yeah. And then moving on, both director and best picture went to Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another, which once again we kind of predicted. We kind of saw this coming. It's definitely most likely what's going to happen at the Oscars too. But yeah, Dan, what are your thoughts about Paul Thomas Anderson getting director and best picture?
Yeah, I mean the critics, they try to be like the Academy Awards. So even though there's no connection whatsoever between the critics and the Academy, they want to be as close to the Academy as they can be. And it's just looking like this is what's going to happen at the Academy Awards. Paul Thomas Anderson is going to win Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Screenplay. He's going to have 3 of those Oscars in his lap when he's doing the Q&A afterwards, Malcolm. I can see it now.
Yeah. But yeah, that was the that was the critics' choice winners, and which a lot of them were kind of ones that we kind of saw coming because they're just the front runners for a reason. Apart from some of the ones that are showing that maybe they're strong that we gave them initial credit for, or if it's just because like they're split, other people are splitting the votes between them. By
the way, can I just real quick go off on one thing? Did you happen to count how many Warner Brothers films ended up winning Critics' Choice Awards? Because this could be a trend going forward. Warner Brothers are going to absolutely clean up at all of these award shows. And they don't have one movie or two. They have like 3 or 4 movies. They have 4 movies contending for awards, Malcolm. One Battle, Sinners, Weapons, and F1. F1 is a split production between Apple and Warner Brothers. It's just like, wow. They are just on fire this year. There's a good reason why David Zaslav is trying to sell the company. This is the time to sell it when they're at their highest. When you're making the most popularity and you're making money, and they made boatloads of money this year.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't count it, but I think there was at least 3 because there was F1, which is a part Warner Brothers.
2 for that, right? Amy Madigan, that's 3. Ryan Coogler, right? Miles Caton, Score, plus 3 more for One Battle After Another. So that's at least 10 that I can count right now off the top of my head. 10.
Yeah.
That could be the trend going forward.
Yeah. But as
Netflix did good with 5 or 6. Netflix got 6, I believe. Go ahead.
Yeah. But yeah, it's one of those ones that I mean, I didn't watch. As I said, the Critics' Choice wasn't streaming any for me. But Dan, did you watch the Critics' Choice ceremony, and what did you think of the actual ceremony?
No, I mean, it was, look, I was watching football and watching the thing at the same time, American football, and so I was paying attention to it. It was funny. I mean, Chelsea Handler nitpicked with a lot of different people. She had her ones that she liked, and she said some nice things. Then other ones she was nitpicking towards. She wasn't really controversial, but there was a moment where she talked about Jimmy Kimmel that I really thought was really good. And later on in the show, Jimmy Kimmel wins for best talk show host and all this. And he had this long ass paper. You always the people. And he's like folding up and reading the thing and saying whatever he says and all that. And of course, he has to bring up Trump in there. And then, and the Emmy side of it, the TV side, it was just 3 sweeps basically: Adolescence for miniseries, The Studio for comedy, and The Pit which is a Warner Brothers movie I meant, Ed, for television series, drama television series. So I mean, it was a lot of it was TV, and so I was kind of zoning out for quite a bit because I was watching football at the same time. But it was all right. The speeches weren't like too crazy or nothing. I don't have anything that really stood out to me one way or another, you know?
Yeah. Look, and it's one of those ones like I don't want to say that the critics just voted for Kimmel because of what happened to him this year, but
sometimes that helps.
Well, look, it's one of those ones. There's going to be a lot of people questioning it for that reason. I'm like, and it's one of those ones. I like. From what I've seen bits and pieces of the Jimmy Kimmel show. I don't really watch a lot of talk shows. Like I like Jimmy Kimmel. I think he's hilarious. So I do think he deserved. He 100% deserved to win. And I want to say he's probably won every year since they've done this.
No, John Oliver, because here they split the award where it's something. It's a different like scripted magazine, whatever type of show. And in the Emmys, they combine it. And so John Oliver kept on winning for years.
Yeah.
And so this is where I think because of the controversy with Jimmy's finally winning after all these years because he's been nominated all these years and he never won. You know, he either lost to Jon Stewart or John Oliver. Those are the two guys that kept on winning, you know?
Yeah. But so whether or not like people voted for him because they felt sorry for him because of what happened to him or because they genuinely thought he deserved it this year, who knows? Good for Jimmy. Because either way, Jimmy's going to be happy to have it regardless of whatever reason. But
he got a chance to speak. He got a chance to speak, which is good. And the other thing is this: we know, me and you have been doing this long enough. We've been watching. There's an element of a popularity contest in these award shows.
Yeah.
So he just happened to be the controversial guy during the year, and so they want to reward him because of what he went through. Hey, whatever.
Yeah. But moving on, we've got the nominations for the Annie Awards that came out this year. They were actually much later than they normally have. Normally they've been like the last weekend of December, but a little bit later. But for best feature, we've got Elio, we've got K-pop Demon Hunters, we've got Little Army or the character of Rain, we've got The Bad Guys 2, and we've got Zootopia 2. Pretty standard. Like 4 out of these 5 are going to be in the Oscars for best animated feature as well. But Dan, what are your thoughts about the best feature?
Yeah, this is the usual suspects. Glad to see The Bad Guys 2 in there. I love their animation in The Bad Guys 2. You don't see that type of animation in other places. The mix between like it's like computer generated and hand drawn, where they mix them together. That's something you don't see very often, you know. So that's why I kind of like the animation in The Bad Guys 2. But yeah, this is the usual suspects.
Yeah, and then moving on to Best Feature Independent, we've got Magnificent Life, Arco, I'm Frank Helder, Lost in Starlight, and Scarlet. I've only ever heard of Arco, just because that is going to be the other one in the animated feature category this year, because at this point I don't think anything else is getting in there. But yeah, but I don't know which category it would have been in, but Naza 2 missing at the Annies is interesting because one, it makes you wonder how the hell that movie fell off completely, and how even the like Annie's, which is their full animated awards, how it completely missed there. So I don't know how that happened, but because with them being multiple categories. But yeah, Dan, what are your thoughts about the nominations for Best Feature Independent?
Well, come to find out, and I had to look this up, Malcolm, that China does not put their movies into American award shows in any sense of they do not put any of their movies up for American awards. So there was no way they would have submitted it for any of these, the Annies, the Oscars, the Critics' Choice, none of them. They look at it like, okay, the fact that it was the #1 box office movie of the year, that's what we know. We're hanging our hat on. We know we're the captains. And it doesn't matter how many awards we win or lose or don't get nominated for, because we know that we're the #1 movie of the year. And so that's my thoughts on Ne Zha 2, which I think it's the best animated movie of the year. We've already been through this. But this is Scarlet. Scarlet is a movie in a anime movie that came out in limited release in December, but that's supposed to come out wide. I still haven't seen it. I reached out for a screener and haven't been able to see it. So, but I really do want to see Scarlet because that one looks really good. But the others, you know, I have no idea what the others are. I haven't seen them except for Arco, and I did not like Arco.
Yeah. But I'm only going to talk about those two categories. I don't think we need to go through every category of the Annies because a lot of them is like just random things.
Gotcha.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of them TV, a lot of them is like student film. I will say Marvel got a few nominations here for like the Marvel Zombies TV show, as well as the best character animation for Red Hulk. But yeah. But moving, but with we move on to our Golden Globe predictions. Once again, just like what we did with the critics, I'm going to talk about the TV side of things. But yeah, starting off with everyone's favorite category, the Cinematic and Box Office Achievement Award. But nominated we have Sinners, we've got Avatar, Fire and Ash, we've got Wicked for Good, we got Zootopia 2, we've got Weapons, we've got K-pop Demon Hunters, we've got F1, and we've got Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. Dan, what do you have winning the Cinematic and Box Office Achievement Award?
The movie that was nominated in this category, that it hadn't come out in the theaters yet, but now it has crossed $1 billion since then. Avatar, Fire and Ash.
Yeah, but yeah, I may end up changing it to that, but it was, but at the moment I've got Sinners as the win, just because partially because I don't understand how this award works and how if they vote on it on that, and but it's one of those weird awards that. But it's funny because at this stage, I'm pretty sure Zootopia 2 still has more money than Avatar, Fire and Ash.
At this point, it does. I was going to go with it, and I said, nope, I'm not going with it. I'm going to go with Avatar.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm may end up changing mine to Avatar, but at the moment, I'm sticking with Sinners just because I don't know if the winner of this award will be the true box office winner, so to speak, or the one that has the highest money out of all of these.
It's Ne Zha 2. We know it's Ne Zha 2, but that's a whole nother thing. We don't want to get into that.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's also what won it last? Yeah, I think it was
Barbie won it 1 year, right? Was the year that Barbie was? That was the first year, right?
Yeah, so Barbie won it in 2023, and it was up against Guardians, John Wick, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, Oppenheimer, Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, Super Mario Brothers, and then Taylor Swift The Eras Tour. And I don't think out of those movies, I don't think Barbie was the highest grossing movie of that year. It was the highest grossing movie for a woman, funny enough.
So you might have made the right choice picking Sinners.
Yeah, and then last year, Wicked.
Oh yeah.
And once again, that also wasn't the highest grossing movie because Deadpool. I'm pretty sure Deadpool and Wolverine might have been. So that's why I think it's probably going to go to something that is
awardsy.
well, not so much awardsy, but is at least nominated in like one of the two like best picture categories that the Globes do. So
good point.
So yeah. But moving on to song, we've got nominated. We've got Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters, I Lied to You from Sinners, Girl in the Bubble from Wicked for Good, No Place Like Home from Wicked for Good, Dream is One from Avatar Fire Nation, and Train Dreams from Train Dreams. I think we're both going the same way here, but I'm definitely going Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters. At this point, I don't think there's anything else. Dan, what do you have for best song?
Yeah, I mean, it's Golden. I mean, I'd be shocked if it was anything else at this point. Yeah, this is gonna run. This is gonna be a runaway train. I like in that speech, by the way, they had the voice actor of the main girl and then the singing actor of the main girl on stage, and it was kind of cool. That was kind of a nice moment, getting the K-pop people to come to these Critics' Choice and get their faces seen. That was a smart move on Netflix's part. Get them there and get them faces seen. So, and it's a different two people. Not interesting. One place is the regular voice and one place is the singing voice. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, well, it's one of those ones like the singing voices actually wrote the songs as well. So it's like,
yeah.
So they would have been getting up there regardless. But it's always good to get the actual voice up there as well. But yeah, moving on to best score, we got Sinners, we got One Battle After Another, we got Surat, we got F1, we got Frankenstein, and we got Hamnet. Dan, what do you have winning best score?
God, Malcolm, I'm gonna go with Frankenstein. But I know Sinners is Goranson's probably the favorite, but I'm gonna go against my better judgment here, and I'm gonna go with Frankenstein Desplat.
Yeah, I did go against my better judgment because I would have gone One Battle After Another, but which may end up being a mistake. We will find out. But I ultimately went Sinners just because I do actually quite like the score of it. I think it's a good score, but it's also at this point it's Sinners has been winning best score a lot of places as well. So I think it's got the momentum and I think it's strong enough to keep it up. So yeah.
No, you're right about One Battle. I mean, score is a tough category to predict. I'll be honest with you. It's one of the tougher.
But moving on to non-English film, nominated we've got The Secret Agent, It Was Just an Accident, Sentimental Value, No Other Choice, Surat, and The Voice of Hind Rajab. I went The Secret Agent just because, once again, I think the critics winning the Critics' Choice, I think, is telling that it's stronger than we may think. Plus, it's also got nominations in other places too. But I think they're going to want to award The Secret Agent somewhere, and I think this is where they will do it because I don't think it's winning any of the other categories The Secret Agent is up for. But Dan, what are your thoughts about non-English film?
Yeah, I think you're right. Now that we have the Critics' Choice in the bag, and we know that it won for Best International Film, even though there's no crossover from the Critics' Choice. Well, there might be a little crossover because they're technically critics in a way. But we know what happened last year with the Brazilian contingent. We know this is a Brazilian film. We know they're going to be pushing for something. And like you said, it doesn't have a great shot at some of the other categories. Don't count out Best Actor for Wagner Moura. But yeah, this is probably the most obvious now that if you really think about it.
Yeah. But moving on to animated feature, once again, probably going the same as the obvious one. But Dan, what do you have winning best animated feature?
Yeah, I mean it's going to be a train. It's going to be like a runaway train for K-pop Demon Hunters this year. Without Neja 2, who knows what would have happened if Neja 2 would have been in this race all season long? You don't know. But without knowing, with not having that information, we have to go with K-pop at this point. You know, I mean, yeah, Zootopia has made more money, but this is a foreign body of people, and K-pop is technically kind of a foreign animated film in a way because it's K-pop, which is Korean. So it makes sense that they would probably go with the foreign animated film over the American one. So yeah, definitely K-pop.
Yeah, but and I will say because depending on depending on what happens at the Oscars, this could be the first time in a while in which it's been a really heavy foreign nominated for animated feature because outside of Zootopia 2 and Elio, like the other options is not foreign language movie. Like
Yeah, Arco's a French movie.
yeah,
Amelie, I believe, is another French movie. I believe both of those two are French.
yeah, and then Demon Slayer is Japanese, and really enough, I have to check this up, but I don't. I think K-pop Demon Hunters. I don't think was made overseas. I think that was it was still, even though yes, it's a K-pop themed type thing, but
And
I
it's
think
Netflix.
yeah, but its country of origin is still United States.
Oh
It
wow,
was still
okay.
it is still an American made movie. It's just reference. It's just so it's one of those interesting ones where you may think it's Korean because it's about K-pop, but it's like it really isn't. But that being said, I've also got K-pop Demon Hunters. I think it's a fool to vote against it unless the Golden Globe and unless it's revealed at the Golden Globes that is going to be Zootopia 2 that ends up winning, then you may have to think it's like, well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens at the Oscars.
Yeah,
But
because it could win 2 awards technically. Zootopia could, right? But also K-pop could win 2 awards too. So you don't know.
well, I mean, K-pop can definitely win 2 awards at the Oscars. Zootopia 2 can't. Because,
No, at the Golden Globes I'm talking about.
oh yeah. No,
Because it's in the best cinematic whatever award, right?
oh
It's in,
yeah. No, that's right. But moving on, we've got best film screenplay. They don't separate between adapted and original, which has made this a really harder to predict for reasons because both the top two is like are probably going to win their respective screenplay categories at the Oscars. But nominated, we've got One Battle After Another, we've got Sinners, we got It Was Just an Accident, we got Sentimental Value, we got Hamnet, and we got Marty Supreme. For me, I read with It Was One Battle After Another winning screenplay, just because I do think out of the two it could be. I think it's the more stronger screenplay, and I think it just works a little bit better. But Dan, what do you have winning best screenplay?
who's on the screenplay for It Was Just is Jafar Panahi? Is he on the screenplay?
I would imagine so, but
Yeah, I mean, I with both categories combined, and a couple of these foreign films in here, and this is a foreign critics group in a way. I would not be surprised with an upset here in this category with like it was just an accident or something. If like let's say it the Secret Agent wins Best International Feature, this is a way for they can still give Panahi or that movie an award in a way. I'm not saying that would happen at the Academy Awards. I'm just saying because the Golden Globes are a foreign body of film critics, basically, film people from around the world that write about the Academy Awards. There's a chance there could be an upset here. So I'm going to go.
I mean,
go ahead.
yeah, you continue with what you're saying. I'll cut you off.
I know those are the two favorites, Kugler and Paul Thomas Anderson. I know that. That's obvious. They're the two favorites. But I think you got to look for some surprises at the Globes because of the people that are voting. So I'm just going to go with the upset here and go with it was just an accident.
Yeah. No, I mean it's one of those ones like I mean I do get that Golden Globes is a foreign body, and then and I wouldn't. It's one of those ones I wouldn't be too surprised with an upset and at all, but it's also one of those ones where it's like so I think the themes of one battle after another, I think it resonates with a lot of foreign countries as well as the states, like because it's not just the states that have those kind of things happening in their country. It's like it's happening all around the world. So it's like I think the themes of that resonate with the foreign body as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's, but it is at the end of the day, it is what it is, and the Globes will do what the Globes will do. So
get that right.
And then we've got best director nominated here. We've got Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another. We've got Jafar Panahi for It Was Just an Accident. You got Ryan Coogler for Sinners. We got Del Toro for Frankenstein. We got Chloe Zhao for Hamnet, and we got Joachim Trier for Sentimental Value. Dan, who do you have winning Best Director?
Yeah, and that's why I picked It Was Just an Accident in screenplay, because I feel like they're going to give director to Paul Thomas Anderson, and then they could spread the love a little bit there. It seems like it's going to go to him. Now, watch this happen. Watch One Battle win screenplay and Panahi win director. That'd be just my luck that I would pick him opposite. But yeah, I'm going to go with One Battle and Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones like I do think that there, I do think there's more of a chance for that kind of thing happening in director that Jafar Panahi wins that. But just because I think with both One Battle of Another and Sinners being the two stronger categories in screenplay, it's one of those ones like I don't know if there's enough room for It Was Just an Accident to break through unless One Battle and Sinners split the vote, and then that's it. But I'm not ballsy enough to go off a upsetting director. I went Paul Thomas Anderson. But just because I do think that he deserves to win, and I think at this point, it's his to lose as well when it comes to the Oscars as well. So I think it's definitely one of those. But moving on to best supporting actor for film, nominated we've got Adam Sandler for Jade Kelly, we've got Paul Mescal for Hamnet, we've got Sean Penn for One Battle After Another, we've got Benicio Del Toro for One Battle After Another, we've got Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein, and we've got Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value. While I did want to go for the route of going all balls for Jacob Elordi and predicting him to win, I kind of went with Stellan Skarsgård here, just because I do think this could be one of those rare cases this season where it's like in every award ceremony that's got a supporting actor category, I could see it being a very different winner each time. And Stellan Skarsgård winning the Golden Globe makes sense because of it being a foreign body and that. So I ultimately went Stellan Skarsgård here, but yeah, and it pained me to go against the One Battle for Another people too, but I do fear they're going to end up splitting the vote here. So yeah, but Dan, who do you have winning Best Supporting Actor?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with my guns as well. I'm going to stick with Stellan Skarsgård, and for the reasons that you said, and I think he's got to win somewhere. If he's got a chance to win an Academy Award, he has got to win somewhere. It's either going to be here or the BAFTAs. Those are the two places I think he's got his best shot, in my opinion. So if he doesn't win here, then his last shot is the BAFTA. If he doesn't win there, forget about him winning an Academy Award. So I'm right with you. I'm right with you, Malcolm.
But moving on to best supporting actress, we've probably got the same person. But Dan, who do you have winning best supporting actress?
Yeah, I mean, I think Amy Madigan is. I think her performance translates what country, where you're from, foreign American. It's so off the wall, crazy that even a foreign body, I think, would go for that wild performance. And she talked about at the Critics' Choice too, Malcolm. She talked about the exploration of how she got to the look and the character and all that stuff in her speech about the wig and all the different things she did to come up with that character. It was interesting to have her talk about that. I think that was the right move on her part. Talk about the origins of the character to where she got to the craziness of Gladys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But yeah, I also went Amy Madigan. I think like I do think she's going to sweep it all the way in. And it's one of those ones like, and I don't like, and I think the Inga Ipsidotta from Sentiment Valley, I don't think I haven't seen Sentiment Valley. I'm going to try and see it this week if I can find time. But it's one of those ones like I don't think she is that strong this award season to pose any kind of threat, even in a awards that is done by the Hollywood Foreign Press. But yeah, I don't think she's strong enough to take out Amy Madigan at this point. But yeah. But moving on to best film comedy musical actor, which I always hate how they combine comedy and musical. But that being said, we got Timothée Chalamet for Marty Supreme. We got George Clooney for Jake Kelly. We got Jesse Plemons for Begonia. We got Lee Byung-hun for No Other Choice. We got Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon. We got Leo for One Battle After Another. Dan, who do you have winning best comedy musical actor?
Wow, are there some heavy hitters in this category, or what? If Yoon Hong-hu pulls off the upset here, I would be shocked, absolutely shocked. And I'm telling you right now, Malcolm, the guy deserves it. He is amazing. And come to find out, he went on stage when K-Pop Demon Hunters won. I guess he's a voice in K-Pop Demon Hunters because he was on stage for that. So he's in 2 awards contenders this year. But I mean, wow, George is going to sit there and Leo is going to sit there and they're both going to watch Timmy go up there and win. But he has won SAG before. Timmy has won SAG. I believe he won for Wonka in the past. So if I'm not mistaken, I think, was it Wonka that he won for? He won something for the Golden Globes.
Yeah, I think so.
I believe he did win for something. Timothy did. So this would be his second Golden Globe, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I could have swore I heard him. I know he won a SAG last year. He won SAG last year for Bob Dylan, but I believe he won for Wonka at the Globes one year, if I'm not mistaken. But I could be right. He's going to win. You're going to look at if even George Clooney comes to the awards, which I don't know if he will. You're going to be looking. Both of those 2 dudes are going to look out and look at Timmy walking up those steps and getting that Golden Globe.
No, Timothée Chalamet didn't win for Wonka. Paul Giamatti won that year, but he was nominated.
Okay. So I thought for some reason, he had won a Globe. So this would be his first Globe win then.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a narrative there for him then with the Globes. He hasn't won before, you know.
But to answer your question, Lee Byung-hun was the voice in K-Pop Demon Hunters. He was the voice of Grima, the King of Demons.
Oh wow.
But look, I think Timothée Chalamet is going to win here. I think it's one of those ones that I don't think there's a chance for anything else to come close. I think once again the only one that can come close, in my opinion, I think is Leo, because I do think he's good in one battle after another. But yeah, I from what I've heard and from what it's looking like, I think it's Timothy's year. But moving on to best film comedy or musical actress, we've got Cynthia Erivo for Wicked for Good, Amanda Seyfried for The Testament of Anne Lee, Chase Infinity for One Battle After Another, Emma Stone for Begonia, Kate Hudson for Song Sung Blue, and then Rose Byrne for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. And yeah, and this is one of those cases where it's like, I think Rose Byrne's going to win because I think it's one of those cases where like she's the only one that can pose a threat to Jessie Buckley, and so if she's going to win something, it is going to be Golden Globes has a chance to take out something to show that she is that strong. But it's also one of those ones like if Kate Hudson wins at the Globe and / gets nominated at the SAG Awards this week, I think it's going to make things interesting because it could prove that maybe Kate Hudson could get Oscar nominated as well. But
that'd be wild.
Yeah,
wild. Kate Hudson. This whole Kate, and I like Song Sung Blue. I really did like the movie a lot. I just don't see the nominations coming like this, I mean, here, yeah, it makes sense because they split the category into two. So you put 12, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just don't see her as one of the top 6 to me, you know what I mean? And I could be wrong. I mean, everybody's got their opinion. You might have a different opinion than me, but yeah, I'm right with you. I think it's Rose Byrne. I think this is great for Rose Byrne that they split the category into 2 here, because she deserved to win something this award season, and this is the perfect scenario for her to win something.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those cases where maybe it shows like how light on like comedy movies there was this year. But it's one of those ones like. I think Kate Hudson 100% deserves to be in the nominated because I think she was great in the movie, especially in the latter half of the movie. I'm not going to spoil anything here, but yeah, when that switch happens, I think she's still just as good. And I think if it was a year where the lead categories weren't as stacked as they are at the moment, I would say that I think there would have been a higher chance if if the lead categories weren't as stacked as they are. But
no, I agree, Malcolm. No, Malcolm, I agree with you. I agree. I mean, she goes through a lot in that movie. She really does. And there's no doubt about it. She gives a fantastic performance. I don't take anything away from her. I don't want anybody out there. Oh, you're just crapping on Kate Hudson I'm not trying to crap on Kate Hudson.
But as I said, like, because I know there is some people out there that is like trying to predict Kate Hudson as a potential surprise. Like, I don't think that's going to happen unless she gets nominated at the SAG Awards. Because I think if she gets nominated at the SAG, then while it's not a accurate predictor on the Oscar 5, but it will show that maybe Kate Hudson is stronger than what we might think now.
I'll go one further, Malcolm. If she gets nominated and wins the SAG, then you got some problems, Jessie Buckley and Rose Byrne.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's one of those ones. I'm not predicting Kate Hudson to win, even if she does get nominated. But
guess who her peers are, Malcolm?
I know.
And she's been acting for 30 years.
Yeah. But it's one of those ones because before the Oscar nominations come out, we'll have the Golden Globes and the SAG nominations first. So it's one of those ones like if she gets into the SAG-5, and then if she wins the Golden Globe for the comedy musical actress over Rose Byrne, that is going to make things really interesting. With how we predict the Oscars.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. You hit the nail on the head.
But anyway, with that being said, I can't remember if I even said I've got Rose Byrne winning this in the end. But
yeah. Me too.
Moving on to best film comedy / musical. We've got One Battle After Another. We've got Marty Supreme. We've got No Other Choice. We've got Blue Moon. We've got Nouvelle Vague, and we've got Bugonia. I've got One Battle After Another winning comedy musical.
It's so obvious.
But I will say it is going to be interesting because I know a lot of people who I've talked to really love Marty Supreme as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if that comes out and taking out One Battle After Another. But at this point, I've really got no reason to vote against One Battle After Another. But yeah, but Dan, who do you have winning best film comedy musical?
Now this is probably the most obvious award of the night. That One Battle is going to win this award. This is like such a no-brainer, you know.
But moving on to best film drama actor, we got Jeremy Allen White for Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. We got Dwayne Johnson from The Smashing Machine. We got Oscar Isaac for Frankenstein. We got Joel Edgerton for Train Dreams. We got Michael B. Jordan for Sinners, and we got Ragnar Moore for The Secret Agent. And Dan, who do you have winning this category?
Well, when I said earlier that I thought Ragnar Moore could win his category, after after you read that list of names, I now am saying he will win this category. And that movie, The Secret Agent, could pull off the double the same way that movie I'm Still Here did last year, where they got the double, one of the actor awards, and then it won international feature. I'm predicting Ragnar Moore here.
Yeah, I'm also predicting Ragnar Moore, but for the same reason, like looking at the list of names, like there's not really anyone that's been really strong at this awards season.
Joel Edgerton, maybe, but you're lower on that movie than I am, so that makes sense why you would pick him.
I mean, look, it's one of those ones like I may be lower on the movie. I still like the movie. I still think he gives a phenomenal performance. Look, I can separate the performance from a movie even if I wasn't as high on it, because I also wasn't that high on The Smashing Machine, but I thought The Rock gave an okay performance. I don't want to say I thought it was a good performance, but it's like,
all right.
But I mean, it's one of those ones like he was unrecognizable. But it's like I still knew it was The Rock at the end of the day.
You knew it was The Rock, and if you saw the guy at the end of the movie, the real guy, it kind of doesn't look like The Rock. I hate to say it. He kind of doesn't look like The Rock. So let's be honest here. We put a little suspension of disbelief, right, Malcolm?
Yeah. So I think Ragnar Moore is probably the best bet to pick to win here. Although I will say, it's like if someone like Michael B. Jordan or Joel Edgerton wins, then it will make things a little bit interesting. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think Ragnar Moore is going to win, and it's going to maybe might have to consider him seriously when it comes to Oscar predictions as well.
Yeah, because I doubt he gets in the SAG, but you never know. I don't think he gets into the SAG-5, but you never know. If he does, then you say, okay, now he definitely would be a contender.
Well, I mean, there's still a chance someone can miss the SAG-5 but still get into the Oscar-5.
Yeah. No, you're right. But that's the SAG-5 to me is the best precursor of the 5 that will get into the Academy Awards. So I feel that way. Because your people, your actors. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, what I was about to say, I think it's going to depend on if Ragnar is a member of SAG or not, because I don't know if you have to be a member to be nominated.
Well, he's been acting for quite a while. He was in Narcos. He's been in.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I know he's been acting for a while.
So I would hope he was in SAG.
I mean, some people. I mean, when it comes to the girls, I think some people. Because I think you don't have to join them, but you can choose to join them. I think that's what I was getting at.
Okay.
I don't know if you have to join SAG if you don't want to, but yeah, if you want to be protected and stuff, when it comes to contract signs and that, then it helps to be a part of SAG.
Oh yeah.
I'm not trying to say that they're not. Anyway, before I dig
I
myself
understand
into
what
deep
you're
hole.
saying, Malcolm. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
The big question is, does Sean Astin come dressed out as Samwise Gamgee at the SAG Awards? No, I'm joking.
I mean,
you never know.
I mean, it is. I mean, it will be the 25th anniversary of Lord of the Rings. So, of Fellowship of the Ring, anyway. So,
yeah.
But moving on to best form drama actress, we got Jessie Buckley, Jennifer Lawrence, Renate Rensiv, Tessa Thompson, Julia Roberts, and Eva Victor. I think we've both got Jessie Buckley.
This is probably the second most obvious thing of the night is that Jessie Buckley is going to win this award.
I mean, look, this is the one that I would argue was the most obvious, especially based on who else is nominated.
Good point. You could be right. It could be this, then One Battle would be the top two for most obvious.
Because at least with drama actor, you got people like Michael B. Jordan and Joel Edgerton, which people were saying like could get nominated for the Oscars as well. Aside from Jessie Buckley, I don't know if there is anyone else in here that could be nominated for the Oscar.
Yeah, what I was saying was One Battle after another in that category is like the most.
Oh yeah. No.
That's what I was getting at. Like nothing is going to beat that movie in that category. If something beats that movie in that category, there's something. That's Globes being Globes. That's for sure.
But moving on to best form drama, we've got.
This is where the real drama is, right, Malcolm?
Yeah, but we've got Sinners, we've got Sentimental Valley, we've got The Secret Danger, we've got It Was Just an Accident, we've got Frankenstein, and we got Hamnet. But for me, I've got Sinners predicted to win, but it's also one of those ones where anything they could throw a wrench into this scenario, and they will go for one of the foreign movies and maybe they do like something like have It Was Just an Accident win best form drama. But yeah, at the moment I'm just going to predict Sinners because I think it's the easy one to predict. Dan, what do you have winning best form drama?
Yeah, I feel like that it's not going to be this straightforward movie. I think based on this body of people, I don't think it's going to be Sinners. I feel like this body wouldn't go for Sinners. And I feel like this body would more go for a foreign film. And I think the best of the foreign films, I feel, because of if you look at the performance with the acting in the different people in all the other categories, I think that's Sentimental Value. I'm going to predict Sentimental Value here. I could be completely wrong and way off base. I feel like if you look at all those actors getting into other categories, that's a clue here. But
yeah,
I could be way off base. I think this would be great for this. Look, we know the Globes don't translate to the Academy Awards when it comes to straight up because there's multiple categories. But this still is this would be a good thing for Joachim Trier to come home with this award, if you ask me. You know what I mean? And to get him up there speaking on behalf of that movie and get that cast up there, I think there's a lot of European voters, and I think this would be the way for them to go to get film people that write critics. So I'm going to go with sentimental value. I could be completely off base. You just never know.
Yeah. And yeah, and it's why, but it's like it's definitely going to be interesting because they've got potential to easily like split the vote and have an award for like a different of the foreign language movies throughout the night. Because like the foreign non-English movie could easily be it was just an accident. Screenplay could be it was just an accident. Then you got because Magnum was probably most definitely winning best actor, so that's the award secret. So it wouldn't surprise me to have like sentimental value winning best film drama as well. I'm just not ballsy enough to predict that. And so, but yeah.
You got to take a couple swings for the fences in Golden Globes, or you can't be just right down the middle. You know what I mean? So I always try to do something different a little bit with the Globes for that reason.
But with that, that is the end of Gone with the Wind for this week. We'll probably be back maybe about this same time next week. We'll be talking about the Golden Globes winners, but we'll also have SAG nominations which come out tomorrow. We'll have the DGA nominations coming out the next day, and then we'll have the PGA nominations coming out the next day after that. So we'll probably have a really big, clearer picture of where the Oscars might lead then. And I don't think we've got anything else sort of major awards-wise coming out. We do have the cinematographers and awards coming out this week as well. But yeah. But with that, Dan, where can people find you online?
You can find me at my name right there, Dan Skip Allen, on Facebook, Instagram /Threads, X /Twitter, Blue Sky. My name on Letterboxd and all social medias. Also, you can find my reviews, and I got a list coming tonight for my most anticipated movies of 2026 article. Will be dropping tonight. Also, I've been doing trailers. We started doing trailers on the website. I am the owner, editor-in-chief, and head film critic of FromTheFourthRow.com. I got a bunch of reviews coming this week from myself and my other writers. Like I said, my most anticipated movies of 2026 article will be dropping tonight. Also, I'm on other shows. Tomorrow night, the Movie Hero Network, I'll be at my my After the 128, which will be a birthday episode. So that'll be fun. I'm also part of a game show that we've been doing that I started developing a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, called Movie Mutations. And I'm going to be filming a episode of that, so you can look forward to that soon. My episode of Movie Mutations. Also, this guy right here, Malcolm Rankum. We're going to be ranking our favorite movies of 2025 on Saturday. So I'm going to be very, very busy, man. And me and Malcolm are going to be seeing a lot of each other over the next couple months.
Yeah, and yeah, Rankin was back this week with top 12 movies of 2025. You can see me in about an hour and a half over on the Movie Hero Network as we do a Battle of the Bulls episode of Bull Paxton versus Bull Pullman movies, which should be an interesting tournament fights. And then I pop up here and there from time to time in other places, but that is the. But yeah, until next time, we'll see you at the movies.